Hello there, God's owners and YouTubers, people of Earth. I have woke up this morning with Zionism and Israel on my mind. I've been studying for quite a few years, but it's only recently, after a lot of pushing and a lot of help from my friends on the net, that I was able to come to grips with the concept of who and what Zionism is and means, and the state of Israel, and how they really ain't who and what I thought they were. As a light-hearted Christian, we don't like to study a whole hell of a lot. We don't like to think a whole hell of a lot. We kind of like to have everything handed to us, and that's exactly why we've eaten so much bullshit for the past 50 years probably, because we don't like to get our own meals prepared. We like to have them handed to us just like at a McDonald's, and I'm talking about spiritual food, of course. We don't like to work for it. We like it to be handed to us, so then we end up with whatever concept somebody else wants us to have with things. And I'm afraid that's where we are with Zionism and Israel today. We like to think Israel and Zionism is sanctioned by God because the words are in the Bible. It seems like every time God talks about Israel, he's talking about his people. And he's talking about a fraction of people that he looks on with favor and so on and so forth. And I no doubt think that is true. But that being said, you know, they got a guy claiming to be Jesus walking around right now. Says his name is Jesus. I think he's one of those lower Middle East countries, those lower South American countries or whatever. Now, we don't think for a minute this guy is Jesus, but he's walking around with the name of Jesus. So I present to you that it's possible for the same exact thing to happen with the name of Israel. The country that has the stamp of Israel, is that really truly Israel? Or was a land put together, a nation put together with this stamp and name of Israel on it? Right? Did in fact somebody go over there and help these people for a price to become a nation? Israel became a nation, I think, back around 1947, something like that. And then we got an infraction of people calling themselves Zionists, who have a lot of power, a lot of control. You can go to their highest courts over there in Israel, and there's a Masonic plaque out there stating who put the monies up to build that. I think it's the Rockefeller families or somebody along that line who's very high up in these old school orders, these old schools of wisdom, old schools of knowledge, is whose name is on that plaque. This stuff is kind of important because it points out who, in fact, Israel is being run by today, as our own country, by the way. Well, I guess if we're going to talk about this, we got to get into the whole Jew thing. Oh, here we got a Jew hater. You better flag him. Not so fast. I'm not a Jew hater at all. I love all my bros and sisters, and I think everybody's got a chance to come to God. And I don't think I'm hating anybody. But in this country, somehow, man, the Jews became above reproach, which is utterly ridiculous. Somehow, if you mention the word Jew as a people, that you become somehow a hater. I mean, need I remind you, people with that thought, that notion in your head, that here in America, we weren't the people who had your asses in cages and were killing you, gassing you and your children. We were the guys in the uniforms that were breaking open those doors and letting your asses out. So I don't think that you should be above reproach in this country any more than anybody else. So we should be allowed to talk to you and at you and about you by name, just as we do any other infraction in this world. So let's talk about the Jews. Now, Christ tells us that that there's an infraction of people that say they're of our brother Judah and do lie. And he tells us this somewhere in the book of Revelations when he's talking about the 7 churches. I think 5 of them he wouldn't too tickle with, but 2 of them there he was kind of pleased with. And when he gives the excuse, not excuses, but he gives the reason of why he's okay with them. One of the reasons was one of them taught about the kid David, and then the other church taught about who say they know about the ones who say they are of our brother Judah and do lie. In other words, Christ himself is letting you know that there's an infraction of people floating around in power in the end time that are saying, hey, I'm a Jew, and they're lying about it. They're not Jews. They're not of our brother Judah. And when he points out who they are, their seed line goes all the way back to the devil himself. And people don't like to hear that, but hell, I'm not making up what's in the Word. I'm just reading it like everybody else. But anyway, back to the Jew thing and the Israel thing, it would seem that it was that infraction we're talking about through families such as the Rockefellers. Now, how do we know it's these Rockefeller families? In this world, if you're looking for power, always follow the dollar. I mean, it's a simple rule and it never fails. It will never let you down. People will not give away the dollar to hide a trail of who they are. They'll write books, they'll change books, they'll buy people, they'll change politics. They can do anything that money can buy, but one thing they will not do is give away their money to throw you off of their trail of who they are. They may give away a fraction, but they're not going to give away their vast majority of money. It's hard for them to do that. If you don't have Christ in your heart, it's just hard to live without money. Now, that being said, follow the money. Where's the money? Well, when you work your ass off all week, where do you send your money? You send it to a bank, and then from that bank, they graciously allow you to have your electronic payments go out to your phone bill, to your MasterCard company, to blah, 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 blah. And they're basically handling your money. There was 12 that walked with Jesus one time, and there was a guy there that handled the money and handled paying for the food and went to town to get goods and so on. And they had one guy that handled it. Guess who it was? You're right. It was Judas Iscariot. Now, think of the banks as the same type of entity. I mean, these guys are holding your money, and they're buying and selling stuff for you, and they're taking care of all. Why don't you people where you just go to work and we'll handle the rest with our automatic payment systems and just, you know. So anyway, follow the money. And who owns those banks? And you're probably going to find that they're mostly owned by people like the Rockefellers and J.P. Morgans and all those infractions. Now, most all of these people, it's no secret, have Jewish names. I mean, you can look at who runs the television networks. It's usually Jewish names. Movie producers, it's mostly Jewish names. And a lot of them that don't have Jewish names, if you do a little research, you find out they changed them because they did not want to be, labeled as the old rich Jew running things. They try to get away from that. And I can understand why. Because they're hiding something. And what they're hiding is the fact that they are very much in control. Now, Israel and Zionism is like everybody else, every other power in this world. They are controlled by this Zionist state of Israel, this thing that's not to be questioned by anybody because somehow it's all above reproach now because the Israel and Zionism is mentioned in the Bible, or the Mount Zion is, and we should automatically just take it that they're God's own. But I present to you to delve in a little deeper and learn for yourself who these people are and follow the money, and it'll take you to the fact that we were all duped by a very small majority of people, a very tight-knit woven factor of the population who uses, and we always, when we think of Jews, we think about the concentration camps and what a debt the world owes them. But those Jews I'm talking about, they use those people as well. I mean, they use, and it's not like they use their own people, because like Christ is trying to tell you, they are not of our brother Judah. They do lie. So these people have the fake name. They have the shingle of Judaism and Zionism stapled on them, but they've run amok, and they're not of Judaism, and they're not of Zionism. They're not of Israel. They are of their father, the devil. Christ told them one time, I think it was in one of the books of John, that you don't know me or recognize me because you don't love me, because you're not of my father, but you of your father, the devil, who was a murderer from the beginning. Now, who was the first murderer that we know of? Who was a murderer from the beginning? Think about it. It's important to piece things together in a way that they can make sense, where you can have some peace over it and some understanding. Yeah, which is something we're all dying for, is peace and understanding. And some people are being killed for it. So you have to kind of think a little bit deeper and don't take so much for granted. The state of Israel is not your friend. I'm not talking about the people. I'm talking about that fraction at the top. Just like you could say the same thing about the Catholic Church. You get to the head of the Catholic Church and you would make it up to that, oh hell, I can't think of the name where the Catholic Pope resides. But if you make it to that building with all those big shot Catholics up there, they are not your friend. They have been taken over by this infraction, just as every body of power with monies and power has been taken over. Because that beast is coming into power. Who is that beast? That beast is the money. Who is that beast? That beast is the banking system. Who is at the head of that beast? You do not know me, you do not love me, because you have your father, the devil. Think about who that is. Then you'll know who the beast system is that the book writes so much about. We're close to that beast having total, complete power now. The Patriot Act was a step in that move. There's many moves throughout countries and nations all across this world that will empower this system that I'm talking about. Can you change it? Hell no, you're not supposed to. JFK thought he could change it, and look what happened to him. But what you can do is you can be apprised. You can be in the know. You can protect yourself. You can't protect the world, because the world has a price to pay. But you can protect yourself by removing yourself from the world and becoming in the know about such things. Okay, that's what I wanted to say, and no big enlightenment here or anything, just kind of helping espouse the word and getting out there some of the things I've learned about Zionism, Israel, and the whole Jew thing, which caused a lot of confusion for a lot of people. And just know that God's in charge, everything is on schedule, everything is happening as it's supposed to be happening. And then but that don't mean you have to be a part of it. God's telling you to come out of her. So if you come out of her, then you're not going to be part of that dismal slaying, those grapes of wrath that are very much on the way. Get yourself removed, get yourself separated, and then you'll sleep better at night. Okay, people of Earth, that's just what I wanted to kind of share with you a little bit in this video. Appreciate you taking a listen, and we will talk at you later. Peace out.